गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदं तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। नमस्ते शारदे देवी काश्मीरपुरवासिनि त्वामहं प्रार्थये नित्यं विद्यां बुद्धिं च देहि मे। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनं। गीतासु गीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं। गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकीपुत्रगीतमेको देवो देवकीपुत्र एव। एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणीन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। गीतायाः पुस्तकं यत्र यत्र पाठः प्रवर्तते तत्र सर्वाणि तीर्थानि प्रयागादीनि तत्र वै यत्र गीताविचारश्च पठनं पाठनं श्रुतं तत्र अहं निश्चितं पृथ्वीं निवसामि सदैव हि चिदानन्देन कृष्णेन प्रोक्ता स्वमुखतोऽर्जुन वेदत्रयी परानन्दा तत्त्वार्थज्ञानसंयुता अष्टादश जपेन्नित्यं नरो निश्चलमानसः ज्ञानसिद्धिं स लभते ततो याति परं पदम् गीतार्थं ध्यायते नित्यं कृत्वा कर्माणि भूरिशः जीवन्मुक्तः स विज्ञेयो देहान्ते परमं पदम् मन्दारगन्धसंयुक्तं चारुहासं चतुर्भुजं बर्हि पिच्छावचूडाङ्गं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं रुक्मिणीकेलिसंयुक्तं पीताम्बरसुशोभितम् अवाप्ततुलसीगन्धं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् उत्फुल्लपद्मपत्राक्षं नीलजीमूतसन्निभं यादवानां शिरोरत्नं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। अस्तु. So, where were we?
10th chapter, 5th shloka is over, madam.
Okay. So, Surya Bhagini?
Mahate. 6th kada?
కొంచెం గట్టిగా చదవాలి మీరు, సౌండ్ వినపడట్లే.
మహర్షయ సప్త పూర్వే చత్వారో మనవస్తథా మద్భావా మానసా జాత येषां लोकयमाः प्रजाः. महर्षयः प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचनं अकारांत शब्दं. महर्षि इकारांत शब्दं कदा इकारांत महर्षि इकारांत शब्दं सप्त 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 अकारांत शब्दं.
అది సప్త మహర్షయః సమస్త పదం కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఓహో, మహర్షయః సప్త అని అన్నారు కదా. యాక్చువల్గా సప్త మహర్షయః, కానీ ఇక్కడ దే డిడ్ నాట్ గివ్ ఇట్ లైక్ అ సమాస వర్డ్. సో సప్త సెపరేట్ గానే తీసుకోవచ్చు.
బహువచనం ఏదా కలు?
సప్త నిత్య బహువచనం. So Sankhya, this will be considered as Sankhya Padam, not like a regular Shabda.
దేంతోన కలిసినప్పుడు అలా బహువచనం పొందుతాం.
Sapta by itself is a Bahuvachana because it is indicating 7. So Eka is Nitya Ekavachana. dvau is nitya dvivachana. It will not occur in ekavachana or bahuvachana. Similarly, ekam also will never occur in dvivachana or bahuvachana. 3 onwards, all are nitya bahuvachanam only. There will not be ekavachanam there. But this is until, a certain extent. After that, again, vimshatihi. From vimshatihi, they are considered as ikaranta strilinga shabdaha. So the rupam will take like that. But again, they by themselves are also considered as bahuvachana.
Oh.
Purve.
Then here Chatvari is also Nitya Bahuvachana.
Nitya bahuvachana. Chatvaraha.
Okay.
Purve avyayam kada. Purvam avyayam. Chatvaro. ఇది కూడా
Purve, actually, we can take it as
ఇందులో చెప్పినట్టుగా ఉందేమో ఇది పూర్వే అంటే
Saptami.
Sarvanama Shabdam we can take. If we take it as Sarvanama Shabdam, Purva Sarvanama Shabdam, then it will again be Bahuvachana. Pumlinga Bahuvachana.
చత్వారः
Bahuvachanam bhavati khlu.
Bahuvachanam. Bahuvachanam.
చత్వారः కూడా బహువచనం
Bahuvachanam.
మనవస్తథ తథా అవ్యయం మనవః
Also Pumlinga Bahuvachana.
పుల్లింగ బహువచనం మనవః.
One doubt, madam. Purvasya purvayoho purvanam purve purvayoho purveshu. Is it like that? Then purve will be ekavachanam khlu.
So if we take it as Sarvanama Shabda, this is not Saptami Vibhakti. This is Sarvanama Shabda. So we cannot use it like Purve as in before. This is a Sarvanama Shabda, so it will be Pumlinga Bahuvachana.
Bahuvachana. Okay.
మద్భావ మద్భావాః మద్భావాః ప్రథమ విభక్తి బహువచనం. మానస మానస మనస్శబ్దం తృతీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. జాత జాత మనసాకి ఏషాంకి జాత కాబట్టి ఏషాం జాత కదా. జాత ఏకవచనం ప్రథమ విభక్తి. జాతాః
So Jataha is again Pumlinga Bahuvachanam.
బహువచనం. ఏషాం సప్తమే బహువచనం.
Yesham Shashti Bahuvachanam.
షష్ఠి బహువచనం. షష్ఠి బహువచనం యత్ శబ్దం. లోక లోక ప్రథమ విభక్తి
Loke.
లోకే ప్రథమ విభక్తి సప్తమే అవుతుంది. ఇది లోకే.
Loke is again Saptami Vibhakti.
ఇమః అంటే ఇక్కడ లోక అన్నట్టు ఇచ్చారు కదా, లోక అన్నట్టుగా
Loka ఇచ్చారు. Loke imaha prajaha.
ఇమః ఇమః బహువచనం సర్వనామం. ఇదం సర్వనామం బహువచనం ప్రథమ విభక్తి. ప్రజాః ప్రజా శబ్ద ఆకారాంతం బహువచనం ప్రథమ విభక్తి. పదార్థః సప్తమహర్షయః సప్తమహామునయః తథా ఏవం. పూర్వే పురాతనాః చత్వారः మనవः స్వయంభువాదయः మద్భావాः మచ్చింతనపరాः మానసాः మానసికాः జాతాः ఉత్పన్నాः येषां महामुनिप्रभृतीनां इमाः एताः प्रजाः सन्ततयः लोके लोके भुवने सन्ति.
Loke means in this lokam they are there. Bhuvane santi. So who are there? Atra santi adhyahritam swikaraniyam. So ke santi?
महर्षयः सन्ति.
Maharshayah. Punaha ke santi?
सप्तमहर्षयः सन्ति.
पुनः అంటే कीदृशः महर्षयः అంటే सप्त महर्षयः और कति महर्षयः सप्त महर्षयः पुनः के सन्ति पुनः पूर्वे पुरातनाः पुरातनाः पूर्वे can be taken as visheshana to maharshayah or manavah also. Actually here it applies to manavah because Manu is the first descendant, right? The first manavah. In that way we take. So purve chatvarah manavah. So here maharshayah santi, punah ke santi, manavah santi, कीदृशः मनवः सन्ति पूर्वे चत्वारः मनवः सन्ति and अनन्तरं
मानस जाता येष
पुनः के सन्ति मद्भावाः सन्ति कीदृशः मनवाः मद्भावाः is there any adjective to that no nothing is there so मद्भावाः पुनः अनन्तरं पुनः के सन्ति जाताः के जाताः मानसाः जाताः so those who came मानसिकाः means प्रसिद्धाः सप्त ऋषयः तथा पुरातनाः स्वायम्भुवादयः चत्वारः मनवः अनन्तरं मच्चिन्तनपराः सङ्कल्पमात्रेण उत्पन्नाः मच्चिन्तनपराः सङ्कल्पमात्रेण उत्पन्नाः so others came because he thought of it the manavah are there from the very beginning puratanaah chatvarah manavah anantaram maharshayah sapta maharshayah these are the ones who are there from the very beginning they were created like parallelly we can say and there were some more who are that some more jataha and from how did they come into existence manasaha jataha so he thought in his mind he thought few more should come into existence so they came into existence so manasaha jataha sapta maharshayah madbhavaha and purve chatvarah manavah okay
मनसा मानसिकाः जाताः उत्पन्नाः येषां महामुनिप्रभृतीनां
येषाम् इमाः प्रजाः लोके सन्ति so again this is second part of the sentence
వీళ్ళందరికంటే ముందర ఇలాంటి ప్రజలు ఉన్నారు
వీళ్ళందరూ these are the ones వీళ్ళందరి యొక్క ప్రజలు येषां here indicates महामुनि प्रभृतीनां इमाः प्रजाः सन्ततयः लोके सन्ति so who are all the people who are existing right now they come from the previous three categories that were mentioned from manavah from maharshayah and from manasaah jataah and madbhavaah okay madbhavaah means machintana paraah so some are they constantly are thinking only about Paramatma some of them are like are they are already like that and some came into existence because Paramatma thought of creating them like that we can take manasaah jataah okay manasaah jataah and the four manas so everybody in this world right now come from those people come from those three categories so that is what here yesham means mahamuni prabhritinam so the rishayah sapta maharshayah and manavah manu is also considered to be a muni right manavah and the other ones madbhavaah anyhow are like from Paramatma manasaah Manasaha Jataha are also like from the Paramatma. So they all from the people who are existing right now are from these origins.
अन्वयः सप्तमहर्षयः तथा पूर्वे चत्वारः मनवः मद्भावाः मानसाः जाताः येषां इमाः प्रजाः लोके तात्पर्यम् प्रसिद्धाः सप्त ऋषयः तथा पुरातनाः स्वायम्भुवादयः चत्वारः मनवः चिन्तनपराः सद्कल्पमात्रेण संकल्पमात्रेण उत्पन्नाः तेषामेव सन्ततयः इदानीं भूमौ वर्तन्ते। व्याकरणं मम भावः षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः मद्भावः येषु अस्ति इति मद्भावाः मच्चिन्तन विशिष्टाः इत्यर्थः मनस आगताः मानसाः आगत इत्यर्थे अण्प्रत्ययः।
So manasa agataha. Okay. So here the first part of the sentence tells what are the different sources from where people were coming, and then the second part of the sentence is people who are right now existing are from those origins. Their how do you say, the next generations of those people are the ones who are here right now. So whenever they say that, normally they say, that they come from the mind, they come from, this and that. So that is from the mind, like from the Paramatma, like like Madbhavaha. So people who had their thoughts fixed on the Paramatma. So there are some very ancient munis or rishis who already had their mind fixed on the Paramatma, we can say. Maybe they were born to be, like that. So from them, so they were like, how do you say, they were sent on to the earth by the Paramatma himself. So they already had the Paramatma in their thought.
They are all Manasaputraha.
They are all the Manasaputraha, yes. And from them are born the other, the future generations.
Yeah.
Because some starting point should be there. And some, this moving and non-moving things are all created like that only. From Madbhavaha and Manasaha Jataha, like that, we can consider.
Yes.
Okay. Anantaram. Savitri Bhagini.
Madam. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo vetti sattattvataha. So vivakampena yogena yujyate natra samshayaha. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yaha vetti tattvataha saha avikampena yogena yujyate na atra samshayaha. Etam dakaranta strilinga etat shabdasya द्वितीय विभक्ति एकवचन विभूतिम इकारांत स्त्रीलिंग द्वितीय विभक्ति एकवचन योगम द्वितीय विभक्ति एकवचन पुल्लिंग च अव्यय मम अस्मत् शब्दस्य षष्ठी विभक्ति एकवचन यह दकारांत पुल्लिंग प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन वेत्ति विद् धातु लट् लकार परस्मैपदी प्रथमा पुरुष एकवचन तत्वतः अव्यय सह दकारांत पुल्लिंग तत्शब्दस्य प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन अविकंपेन तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचन अविकंप शब्दस्य योगेन that is also तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचन युज्यते युज् धातु कर्मणि प्रयोगे प्रथमपुरुष एकवचन न अत्र अव्ययम् संशयः संशयः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन.
So na is a separate, atra is separate. Na is also avyaya, atra is also avyaya.
Oh, both are avyayas. Yes. संशयः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन. पदार्थः यः यः मनुजः एताम् एनां मम विभूतिं मे ऐश्वर्यं योगं च तत्तदर्थ निर्माण सामर्थ्यं च तत्त्वतः यथावत् वेत्ति जानाति सः मानवः अविकम्पेन अचञ्चलेन योगेन सम्यक् दर्शनेन युज्यते संबध्यते अत्र अस्मिन् विषये संशयः न सन्देहः नास्ति. अन्वय यः मम एतां विभूतिं योगं च तत्त्वतः वेत्ति सः अविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते अत्र संशयः न. तात्पर्यं यः मनुष्यः मम एतत् ऐश्वर्यं तत्पदार्थ निर्माण सामर्थ्यं च यथावत् जानाति सः अचञ्चलेन सम्यक् दर्शनेन संबध्यते अस्मिन् विषये संशयं नास्ति. मार्धमतं पूर्वोक्तं भगवतः महिमानां वक्ष्यमाणां च तस्य नानारूपादिकं यो वेत्ति सः निश्चयेन ध्यानरूपोपायेन युक्तः भवति. रामानुजीयमतं विभूतिः ऐश्वर्यं योगः हेयप्रत्यनीक
कल्याण गुणरूपः.
हेयप्रत्यनीक कल्याण गुणरूपः. द्वितीयो योगशब्दः भक्तियोगपरः. व्याकरण विकम्पते इति विकम्पः कर्तरि अच् प्रत्ययः न विकम्पः अविकम्पः तेन नहि तत्पुरुष समासः. तावदेव.
सो अत्र क्रियापदं किम्?
युज्यते.
युज्यते. द्वितीयं
योगं न मम वेत्ति.
वेत्ति. कः वेत्ति?
विभूतिं.
कः वेत्ति?
कः
विभूतिं कः वेत्ति? यः विभूतिम् एतां योगं च यः वेत्ति तत्त्वतः. Okay, he who knows. Yaha means he who understands or he who knows. Kam vetti? Yogam vetti. Kasya yogam? Mama yogam. Punaha kam vetti? Vibhutim vetti. Okay, yogam vibhutim cha. Yaha tattvataha vetti. Tattvataha vetti. Saha kim bhavati?
विकम्पेन
सः युज्यते.
युज्यते. कथं
युज्यते मीन्स् सम्बध्यते. केन सम्बध्यते? केन युज्यते?
मया.
योगेन. अविकम्पेन योगेन. So yogam means here again samyak darshanena. Here in the pratipadartha it is given as samyak darshanena yujyate.
Sorry.
So yes, he who knows me or understands me according to my very nature, tattvataha, he will be able to join me. Yujyate is to be able to connect it to me.
Connect me. Yes.
Through what? Again, that connection is made because of that darshanam. Means that clarity, that tattvataha, because you have understood him by his very nature. You are able to see him everywhere.
Yes.
So the minute you see Paramatma in everything and everywhere, then you are connected to him. Saha yujyate, yogena yujyate, avikampena yogena. Again, avikampena means there is no doubt, even there is no doubt at all in that understanding of Paramatma.
Yes.
So sometimes we have doubt. How can this happen if Paramatma is really there? Such kind of questions come to us. There we are not having that complete faith. That
Yes.
should not be there. We should be able to see everything as Paramatma. In everything there should be Paramatma, good or bad. When good happens, Paramatma. When bad happens, Paramatma. Everything we should be able to see as our own. Here again, Paramatma, in the sense, what did Paramatma tell? It is our own doing, right? That also we should again have clarity. That also we should again keep reminding ourselves of that. We should see Paramatma in everything. At the same time, we should also be aware of our own actions. Why?
Yes.
Because there is a very bad person, say for example. If we are seeing Paramatma in him, then we will get this question of how can he do such cruel things? If he's impersonation of Paramatma himself, then how is he able to do these cruel things? That question will arise. So that is when we again have to understand everybody is guided by their own actions. Paramatma is there in everything. Even in a stone, Paramatma is there. Even in a tree, Paramatma is there. That is what the purpose of the Narsimha Avatara is, right?
Yes.
Prahlada keeps repeating that Paramatma is everywhere, Narayana is everywhere. So here also we have to understand that. But then again, a common man's question is, how can he be in a non-living object? How can he be in such a cruel action? How can he be involved in a cruel action? Like I said earlier, how we can understand or visualize? Because I see that many times people will be confused because of that one reason. How can Paramatma tolerate this much of injustice or this much of difficulty for a person? How can, if Paramatma really exists, how can somebody have so much of suffering? That is the very common question we all have. So how we should look at it is, like I said earlier, these examples make us connect to the reality. So there is a tree. It is infested. Okay, the tree by itself is not bad. The tree by itself is not bad. It is a very wonderful tree which has the potential of bearing so many fruits or flowers or whatever it is supposed to give.
Yes.
But there is an infestation. Some insects have attacked it. So then it will take this form where it is distorted. Some leaves are very, distorted. It is not beautiful anymore because of this infestation. That infestation is because some outside thing came onto it, right? The life in the tree by itself is not contaminated. It is this physical body of that particular life that is being infected because of this. So that is, we have to address that. And then again the tree will how do we address it? By providing the right ingredients, like the right soil, the right kind of soil that it needs, the right kind of or the right amount of water. And if still further little help is needed, then we have to make sure we have to remove all the pests. Sometimes we have to remove them with hand. Sometimes we have to do some kind of pest control. So by removing it, by making it free from all this and protecting it for a while, guarding it for a while, giving it the strength it needs and nutrients that it needs, then it will come back to its beautiful form. Similarly, when a person is doing such kind of criminal actions, he is the temptation, you can call, that is the result of his actions. Temptation or greediness or desire. These are the three things that spoil or destroy a man, right? These are the three things. Normally, the desire and greed. These are the two main ingredients. And then, of course, other emotions like jealousy. Sometimes, because of jealousy, also, people end up doing bad things. They may not have any desire. They may not have anything else, but because of sheer jealousy, also they can be destroyed. They think they are destroying somebody else, but they are the ones that will ultimately be destroyed. So their mind is infected. That is how we have to look at it. Their mind is infected. And again, why is it infected? Because they do not have control over it. It is weak. The mind is weak. So, because these desires and all are everywhere. But why are some able to withstand the desire, whereas others are not able to withstand the desire? Because some people are not able to do enough abhyasa to keep the mind under control. Again, another example that we can look at it is, some people are able to walk like 10 kilometers, 25 kilometers, they are able to climb the mountains, whereas others cannot walk even a few blocks. Again, the reason behind that is abhyasa. The other person has spent enough time to keep his body fit. He ate the right things. He exercised every day. So he is able to do that kind of physical activity. Whereas this other person never did any kind of physical activity. So suddenly, if he has to do something, the body will not support. Like how a physical body has to be trained to do a certain thing, similarly, the mind also has to be trained to keep it in control. So those are the actions. Even with plants also, or trees also, the same thing. They have to have that inner strength. They have to have their inner strength. Then even if some kind of infestation happens, it will be able to fight it off, like a body, right? Even with humans, people with low immunity are prone for more diseases, whereas people with good immunity are able to fight off, because the disease attacks everybody, but some people are able to withstand a little more than others. The reason is the inner strength. Like how a body can be infected, similarly mind also can be infected. So people with a weaker mind given to such emotions, and they will become weak. So Paramatma is there in everywhere, but the reason why some are different from others is because of these reasons, and some because of their previous actions, previous Purva Janma Sukritam, we say. Because of their actions, what happens to them also is guided because of that. So these are all the things that we need to keep in mind when we are looking at everything and wanting to see Paramatma in that. These are the things that we need to keep in mind. So we see something evil happening, Paramatma is there, but these are the other factors that is giving that appearance. So if we look at it, at everything in that way, then we will be in a calm state of mind. We will understand it better. So like how we say that even within our family, if a very dear person, a dear member of our family passes away, we have to remain calm. It will help us remain calm. This kind of thinking will help us remain calm. Why? Because we know that everybody is coming and going, and it is only the Sharira that is falling, not the Atma. Not the Atma. Atma is there all the time. Now, being attached, say for example, if we lose one of our things, which is very precious to us, like a beautiful sari or a jewelry or something else, a bag or something. So is it wise for us to really be depressed because we lose something? We will feel very depressed only when we are attached with that object. But what are we learning? We should not be attached. We should look at it as an instrument to get certain things done. Clothes are to cover our body, to protect our body from the weather and all that. A house is to protect us again from the weather and other wild animals and robbers and this and that. So if we look at everything as an instrument for us to maneuver through this life, then we will not be attached to anything. But of course, we are only humans. We tend to get attached to certain things. But we should again constantly keep checking ourselves so that we don't get attached too much to it, to the point where it will break us once we lose it, because nothing is permanent. So we have to keep reminding ourselves, nothing is permanent. Today I am here, tomorrow I don't know where the destiny takes me. So I should not get attached, so that I am ready for my next, whatever is coming my way. Similarly, within our family members, as long as we are there, we should live in harmony. We should be able to understand that there is no death for Atma, but only the Sharira falls. So we should not be attached to the Sharira, whether it is ours or others. Again, it is difficult. It is not easy. We will tend to get attached, but we have to keep that in mind. So when they pass away, when somebody that we love very much passes away, how we have to think is, so their role in this body is over. Now they will, according to what they have done, good or bad, their journey continues. So if we kind of grieve too much to the point where sometimes they say that if that other person also has a weak mind, if that other person who passed away is not strong spiritually, if that person has a weak mind, their mind again gets connected. Their mind also, that vasanas, it will absorb. It will absorb, because when somebody is in their last stages, only thing that we have to keep telling them is that also we studied in the earlier shlokas. Only the nama, the Paramatma Nama only we have to keep telling. Why? Because that will help them leave the body with the free mind, so that they do not carry with them the vasanas, which will only bind them again to whatever they were bound to here. And whatever we bind to are not Shashvatam anyways. Why do we want to bind? We are already bound to them right now. Why do we want to take this again into the next life? So at least during that last stages, we should try to unwind ourselves, unattached ourselves from these bandhanas. As long as we are in the grihastha ashrama, some kind of attachment automatically develops because of the everyday things that we do with our family. Fine. But after that grihastha ashrama, when all our immediate responsibilities are over, we have to start practicing this detachment. I am done with my responsibilities. So the children can take care of themselves. If they need something and we are able to do something, do it only like how we do for a plant. That's all. Without any kind of over expectation or anything. It is better if we prepare them to take care of themselves independently without having dependency on us, because we need to work on our own spiritual journey. This is not Shashvatam anyways. We cannot live forever to help them. They have to learn how to live their lives, be independent, because they have to teach the same to their children. Now, many times this is where people get confused. They keep thinking that as long as they live, they have to be able to help their children somehow or the other. No, it is not required. You have to, once our responsibilities are over, we have to focus on our own spiritual health, I would say. So we have to teach them also the same thing. Why? Because they also have to practice that when they are at that point. If our parents are also trying to be clingy to us, we have to tell them also. See, now you have reached that stage where you should not worry anymore about what is going on in our lives. We have to, we will inform and they will listen and be happy, and whatever is happening, they just have to listen. That's all. They should not worry too much. My grandson is like this, my granddaughter is like this and that. Where is it going to end? It will never end. And where is the time for them to work on their spirituality? So how many more lives will they need if they are continuing to be like this? When are they going to enter into the Jnana Marga? And when will that moksha come? If we start thinking like that, we have to help our family members understand that, to refrain them from getting involved too much into things that they are no longer required to. It is not their responsibility anymore. It is your duty to work on your own spiritual journey right now. So you keep practicing that. Now, sometimes again, people will get offended. We say that they think that we are excluding them. But again, that is what I'm saying. The way we convey the message to them should be in such a way that they are able to understand. If they are not in a position to understand, and if we keep saying, you should not get involved, like how again Paramatma says that people who are not ready for that knowledge, that kind of knowledge, there is no point in forcing them into something that they are not ready for. So with such people, we have to learn how to, tell them in a very less offendable way. We have to slowly keep telling them that, prepare them for what is necessary for them at that age. So we have to go by person. There is no one standard rule for that. But what I'm saying is, whoever we are here right now, since we all have the same kind of thinking, it is our responsibility to first practice it, so that our children, they learn from watching us. So automatically they will also keep watching us, and when they are at that age, they will also able to focus on their spiritual journey, however it is, however they like to start and lead that journey. And that will set an example to their kids, and so on. Sooner or later they will observe, that is guaranteed. Right now we might feel that they don't, they are in a different world, we are in a different world, they don't understand anything. It will appear like that only. But whatever they are watching, though it may not come into action right now, eventually they will be able to, because with age comes that maturity, and with certain experiences also. After going through certain experiences only, they will be able to understand. Before that, no matter how much you tell them, they won't understand. Like say for example, even our health conditions, like for a 20-year-old, if a 60-year-old tells about how her body aches, and she has to do something so that she will not have the such kind of pains when she's 60, will she be able to understand? Because it is beyond her imagination. So they won't understand unless they practically see somebody and try to analyze it scientifically, and how a body can become like that and all that. Unless they invest so much of thought in that, they are not ready to even understand or listen or practice anything that we say. But the minute they are coming into that age and experiencing such things, then it will automatically, they will understand. I saw my grandmother suffer, oh, this is what she was telling about. At least now I have to start taking care of myself. Like that, the thoughts will change according to how they face the situation. So constantly we have to be aware of the fact that here avikampena yogena is, constantly we have to be aware of the fact that Paramatma is there everywhere, in everything. And whatever is on the outside, however it appears to be on the outside, is because of all these several factors. But on the inside, so that will help us to have that connection with the Paramatma constantly. So atra samshayah na asti. So the reason why that also is given is, there is no doubt about it. If somebody understands Paramatma according to his nature, tattvataha, then without any doubt, and he should constantly be connected with that doubtless, or without any kind of samshaya. He has to be avikampena yogena. He should be constantly in touch with that Paramatma Tattva Jnanam. Then definitely he will be able to connect with the Paramatma, and there is no doubt about it. So this, I find it very helpful when we are in a situation, when we are in a difficult situation. This is what we need to tell ourselves, so that we do not react accordingly. The first reaction when somebody behaves in a difficult way with us, the immediate reaction would be either we try to justify ourselves, or whatever, according to the situation, we try to do something, right? We try to explain to them, or we try to argue with them, or we try to, we feel hurt sometimes. Many things can happen depending on that particular situation. So before all that, the minute you feel something is going to happen to our mind, either it is going to get hurt, or it is going to give some kind of reaction to that other person, or whatever it is, we have to take a minute. We have to take a minute. We have to tell ourselves, this is, let me think what is happening here. So what did I do? First, we have to start with that. What did I do? What did I say? What was the intention behind what I did or what I said? Is there any kind of negative emotion attached to it? Is there any kind of negative emotion like a greediness or jealousy or anger or whatever it is? If none of those things are there, and whatever we said is not affected by any of these negative emotions, it is only backed up with truth. It is only backed up with truth and a good intention of a productive result. Then confidently we have to see why that other person gave such kind of a reaction. Sometimes it could be that they do not understand our intention. In such cases, we can sit and explain it to them. Sometimes they might know your intention, but are not willing to look at it that way. Then there is nothing much we can do. So with all this exercise, what we are trying to do is protect ourselves from any kind of negative emotions, either hurt feeling or anger or any kind of feeling or depression or whatever it is. We are trying to protect our mind from that, because again, mind is the one that drags us into all that kind of emotions. So we are protecting ourselves by doing this analysis, and then leave the rest. They will understand. We have to try to explain if that person is ready to listen. If not, just leave it there. Eventually they will understand through our actions, sooner or later. By that, what we are doing is, we are not forgetting to look at Paramatma in that other person or in that situation, and we are again continuing in the same path without any deviation. That is what is avikampena yogena. That avikampena indicates all that. Because if our faith is shaken, then we will fall down again. It is like a snakes and ladders game. We will fall down. Again, it will take time for us to climb up. Again, if we do not analyze our actions, again we might fall down. So that itself again can be very disappointing. Arey, I am doing so much of abhyasa, but I keep falling back. So we have to catch it when we are about to step down. When is that? When we are triggered. Somebody says something. The minute we feel that we are going to get angry, or we are going to feel disappointed, or when we hear a result which we are expecting but not in our favor. So we wrote an exam, the result came, we did not get as many marks as we thought we will get. During such times when we are going to be affected because of the result, then that is when we need to again analyze and follow the truth. We have to follow the truth. Why did we not get? There is some prayatna dosham. Maybe we did not try as hard as we were supposed to. Definitely that will be there. Simply not attaining a result simply will not happen. There is something, prayatna dosham, somewhere something is there. Sometimes we may not realize it. We think we have done our best, but maybe that is not enough for that kind of test. So like that, if we keep analyzing and questioning ourselves at every step, it will become a habit for us, and slowly it will become easy for us. Even after doing that for so many times, there will be times where again we will fall, but the number of times we fall will reduce. The number of times we fall will reduce. We should not expect that we will not fall at all, because even that kind of expectation will be disappointing later on, because we are bound to fall. And if we think, oh, I'm doing the abhyasa very well, so I'm not going to fall down at all, and then we will fall, because that is going to happen. And when we fall again, we will be disappointed. So that is what we need to consider. So these are the things that we need to do. Initially, it will be tough, but once we start practicing and once we see the result, it will become a lot easier. And another way to also do that is by engaging ourselves in something, like how we are doing right now. We are engaging ourselves in learning something. So it will be easy for the mind to not focus on other things. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. There is a proverb in English. An idle mind is a devil's workshop, it seems. Workshop means things where you create stuff. Devil's workshop means it will create unnecessary things, an idle brain. So we have to keep it engaged. When we keep it engaged, automatically, even if some disturbance comes, we try to ignore it because we are focused on this. We want to complete this. But if there is nothing to do, then what will happen? We will try to engage in everything which is not at all necessary. So that is another way to engage the mind in a good way, so that it will not deviate in the bad way, in an unnecessary way. And while we are engaging, whatever little disturbances come, if we keep practicing, it becomes easy for the mind. Everything is in training the mind. Like how, if we are trying to eat healthy, we have to keep only healthy stuff in the house. If you keep all junk in the house and try not to eat, it is very difficult for the mind. It is very difficult for the mind. Again, I always try to visualize this. Why do the rishis go into the forest when they want to do tapas? Even in Kiratarjuniyam, there is a big description of the serenity of the mountain where Arjuna goes for doing the tapas. There is a whole number of shlokas which explain the climate, the environment where Arjuna was led. He was led by a yaksha. He was taken to a particular mountain and there he will perform the tapas. Why was he taken there? Arjuna himself, he is such a sadhaka. He also was taken to a particular place and he was asked to worship or do the tapas there only. Why? Because it will become easy for him to be successful in his tapas. Why? He is such a sadhaka. How easy should it be for him to have that control? But even he, all the rishis, if you see, they have always moved away to a place where there is no disturbance, and that is where they have done their tapas. No matter how big that rishi is or how powerful that rishi is. And almost all the rishis eventually gave in to either anger or some kind of control or ego at some point. Even after performing so much of tapas, they have at some point, one point or the other, if we look into the story of any Muni or Rishi, there is at least one incident where they have lost their cool. Either
Yes.
they have become angry, either they have become, their ego is hurt for some reason.
Tempted.
So what are we learning from all this is, it is not easy to control the mind, period. So this practice keeps going on. We should first set our mind, prepare our mind for that. Then there will be no disappointment. So our sadhana will continue with peace of mind. Otherwise, we'll do practice for, we'll do walking for 2 days, and third day we expect to lose 5 pounds. That is not going to happen. Similarly, doing meditation or whatever abhyasa you do for 2 or 3 days or 1 month, and then expect that all your anger should be gone, the mind should come under complete control, that is not going to happen. First, we have to prepare our mind for that. It is not going to happen that fast. But what we have to focus on, and then there are some people who say, oh, it is, we can never do that. It is, even the rishis are not able to do, so I cannot do, so I will not do. I will not do. Why go through all that trouble when I cannot really do it? Let me at least enjoy this time. That is another way people think. That is also not good. The number of times should keep reducing. The number of times that our mind gets out of control should come down. And because when it is under control, we do productive things. When it is not under control, we do things which are not useful to anybody. And what does somebody say? Like, this human life has a purpose. That purpose also we need to find. At least if we are not able to find a purpose where so many people are getting benefited, at least we have to benefit our own life. At least if we are not able to help anybody in any way, that is fine. but at least this particular life, we should be able to take it to the next level. At least for that reason, we have to use this Sharira. In that kind of thinking, if we are, then some progress will be there. Because at the end of the day, that is what will give us peace of mind. That will help us keep our body healthy, body and mind. Because the negative thoughts, this temptation, all these will only pull the body, mind and body down. And at the end of the day, it has to take. And for our upcoming Sharira also, only if the mind is clear, that body will be healthy. Otherwise, we will be carrying again all these emotions into the next body. That body also will have to suffer. So this is a continuous chain. So that we have to keep thinking every time. And definitely, I think with some practice, it is not that difficult. That is how I feel. It is not very difficult to at least start the practice. Completely achieving it, like I said, will be difficult, but it is not impossible. We should have the patience for as much time as it takes to be able to achieve that. So here, this avikampena, we can take that word in that sense. So that faith, like how Prahlada, like Dhruva, they all had that complete blind faith. That is the reason why the Paramatma came in front of them, because of that kind of faith. If that kind of faith is there, anybody will be able to do that. And like Bhakta Ramadas, he also, right? There are many such examples, and they are not just stories. I truly believe that they all, see, I am only quoting the very well-known devotees, but even amongst us also, among the common people also, if you listen, people will keep telling that in a particular phase where they focus so much, with every they will have that kind of phase, a particular year or something. They are so much involved in that dhyanam. They will do it with all their shraddha. Then they can feel that vibration of Paramatma, right? You must have heard among your friends and relatives. I've also heard among a few of my relatives, and one music sir, like he had that passion. And when he was singing that Kamakshi Jatiswaram, he was visualizing her, like he sang it with utmost shraddha. So he could see her like in a particular place, okay, which he has never seen before. It's not like he saw that place somewhere, but that particular vision came to him. So that is how it is. So, but it was only during that time. That also he told. After that, again, I was never able to see, even though I sang that Swarajati so many times, because sometimes during a particular time you have that focus and shraddha and everything, and we are not able to hold it for long. But with abhyasa, and why are we not able to hold it, is in his particular case, again he had to focus on his career, family and all, and with all those responsibilities, that kind of shraddha sometimes is not possible for everybody. So that also we should be able to accept. That is that story also we read, like a lady who was more than ready for siddhi, but her time is not yet come. Her time, she's not yet ready time wise. So she had to lead a grihastha ashrama period. There was a period where she has to lead that life before she can actually move on, though she was mentally ready. And then there is this story of her own husband, who is not ready, but he wanted to. He couldn't wait for it, right? So he will abandon on all his duties and go and try to do tapas, but he is not able to achieve anything. Why? Because he was not mentally ready. So like this, there are so many factors why, though we feel that we are ready for it, we don't get it. And sometimes, though we are ready for it, we have to wait for the right time. So all sorts of things will be there. But what we shouldn't lose during all this is that faith. Now, that lady also, though she was more than ready, when she was asked to wait, she did not go through any disappointment or anything. So she understood the fact, and she led that life, fulfilling all her responsibilities as a wife and as a mother. And then when the time came, she left. like that, we also have to learn to be patient and fulfill our responsibilities and only then move. So how will we be able to do that? Avikampena yogena. Only with that faith, which is not shaken. With that kind of faith only, we will be able to move forward. Even though we keep falling sometimes, we will be able to easily climb up because now we understand how things work. And that is an abhyasa. We have to learn to look at everything and then just a step back. Before we say something or feel something, just one step back. So where is that other person coming from? So what am I supposed to do right now? So with that kind of abhyasa, slowly, I think we will be able to overcome the little disturbances that we come across in our daily lives. And we have to make the other person understand also. That also will take time, but slowly but steadily and lovingly. That is another factor. That also I've noticed. So whatever we are trying to tell them, we have to tell them in a very loving way. If we tell, no, this is how it should be done, no, this is how it is, no, this is your responsibility, or this is not my responsibility, if we keep that kind, then it will be difficult for that other person to understand. Though it is a fact, it will be difficult for them to understand. So again, we have to be very patient in explaining it to them, why we are not able to do certain things, why we are why they should take care of themselves, or whatever it is. Like the example that I told you, this I don't know, I strongly believe that this is how it should be. Like after a certain age, everybody should focus on their spiritual journey and say no, but it has become a very common expectation from the grandparents that they should take care of the grandchildren. I somehow feel that that is really not appropriate. We are depriving them of their time, because now that they are free of their responsibilities, it is a very perfect time for them to work on their spiritual journey. But they are being loaded with these additional responsibilities in the name of the children going to work and they need help and all this. So if that person is not ready for their spiritual journey, and if they are finding more pleasure in doing this, then I don't know. But there are some grandparents who feel that they want to pursue their spiritual journey, but they are more worried about what the world thinks. What will people think if I refuse to take care of these take up these additional responsibilities? What will the world think? So I feel that in that way, we have to be strong and try to explain it to them somehow. That is how I personally feel. Really, I don't know if I'll be able to do that when I'm in that situation, but I strongly feel that that is how it should be. At least if the person is ready to pursue their spiritual journey, then they should be allowed to do that, rather than take up the responsibilities of their children. What do you think?
Exactly correct, ma'am.
Really, I have seen many people like really like they are in a helpless situation. They cannot say no, but they really don't feel, and they feel guilty.
Not only that, they are more attached to their grandchildren than their own children.
That is what I'm saying. If that is how they feel, if they feel that their service to their grandchildren is more important, and if they don't realize about that it is time for them to pursue their spiritual journey, if they are not ready for it, then I don't know what to say. But I'm talking about people where some of them are ready for their spiritual journey,
but they could teach their grandchildren by when they are very young, then they can share their spiritual experiences to their grand.
See, that can be done. No, what I'm saying is morning to evening, if you are immersed in taking care of the daily chores of taking care of the grandkids, then
it is not possible.
that is what I'm saying. In the name
somewhere
of
we have to put a full stop.
like babysitting, I'm talking about grandparents who are babysitting their grandchildren, and along with that, some other chores also will be dumped on them.
Yes, exactly.
So where will they have the time? Of course, they will be able to tell a few things, but they are also learning that okay, grandparents are for chores, and a few stories about the Puranas. That is not how it should be. They should have their own routine. The grandparents should have their own routine. Okay, and the parents of the grandchildren should be able to take care of the complete responsibility of the grandkids. And then the grandkids should be exposed to the grandparents only in passing this spiritual knowledge. That is fine.
Yes.
That is definitely fine. It is like a Vanastha ashrama within the house. So the grandparents will have their own room and their own routine and everything. They will be provided for, but again, they should also lead a simple life. They should not be demanding also. Sometimes I see, they demanding too much about
expecting some more things from their children.
Expecting more than what is necessary for them at that age. That is how I can put it. Like whether it is eating or going out, even they want to go out and do this and that, then that is not a spiritual journey to start with. So again, there are so many factors involved here, but what I'm trying to say is a person after his immediate responsibilities are done, and if they want to pursue their spiritual journey, they should be able to do it without fearing the society. That is what I'm trying to tell. Exactly. There will be so many other factors, and in every family, the situation is different. So I cannot talk about everything, which is right and which is not right. What works for somebody in a family, that is their, whatever works for them, it works for them. I'm not going to talk about it. But what I'm saying is, if a person is ready for their spiritual journey, and if they are done with their responsibilities, then they should be given that time to pursue their spiritual journey.
Yes.
And, right now, we don't have a place where people can go like in the olden days to Vanastha Ashramam. So it will be within their homes or in the homes of their children. Even if they are in the homes of their children, they should have their own routine and their own space where they can do this. But at the same time, they should also not be demanding. So because the younger generation also have their own responsibilities right now. So it should not go beyond what is necessary for that person at that age.
Yes, yes.
So that I think will be a perfect balance for both. Because these days we are watching many scenarios where either the children are overburdening the parents with more and more responsibilities, even not considering their age. And then there are other cases where the parents are too demanding over the children, and the children are unable to do their own stuff.
Yeah.
So that should not be there. That understanding and balance should be there, where both are able to do their own things. And then the grandkids, it will be the perfect environment for them.
Yes.
That way I'm saying. So other than that, and that respect should be there. That is what the children are going to learn. So even when we are asking for help, it should be in such a way that we are not imposing them, but we are only trying to see if they are, because today we'll be able to do something. Tomorrow we might not be able to do something. The elderly people, for them, how today is, tomorrow need not be like that. You hear from many elderly people, suddenly some days they feel weak, some days they feel fine. So that independence also should be there. On the days that they are happy and able to do, they want to do something, we can let them do. On the days they are really not up to it, we should, if I am prepared, then I will let them not, I will not impose anything on them, right? But if we put a duty on them, a responsibility on them, irrespective of whether they are able to do or not, they have to do, they have to push themselves. Is that necessary for them at that age? That is what I'm saying. Is that really necessary for them at that age, where they have to Go
through all these.
That is what I'm saying. That kind of imposing should not be done. But if they happily want to get involved and do, then that is again a different thing. Like I said, every situation is different. I'm not talking about in general. But if a person wants to, because I came across a few people where they were more than ready to pursue their spiritual things. Like they want to read some Bhagavad Gita, learn Samskritam, learn this, learn that. But then they are always called on babysitting duty. And then the whole routine will go. And again, once they come back again, they start at zero. Everything is gone. They keep forgetting. So after a while, will I ever be able to do this? That kind of dissatisfaction also will come. So not that they don't love their children or grandchildren. We should not mistake it like that. It is not about love. That is what even again Bhagavad Gita says, right? That without attachment, not having attachment does not mean we don't love. We should love, we should do our responsibilities, but without attachment. So, so if you feel that you are being pulled away from your what you want to do, from your spiritual journey, it doesn't mean that you don't love them or anything. It is you have done your thing, so now you have to focus on something else. It is like that. So that is one thing that we have to keep in mind, and we should not be afraid to do it, is what I'm saying. We should not be afraid to say no. We should not be afraid to explain to that other people why we are doing what we are doing. Because another secret is, many times the other person is also in the same situation, but they don't have the courage to speak up. So what they do is they are giving in. So they want to see how the other person feels. So this is all again a big psychological thing. So many times the minute we say, no, this is how it should be, then it will become easy for them to make their own decision. Because this is a society. So many times people have this peer pressure. But once, at least if you have a handful of people who understand or go through the same thing, then it will be easy for them to support each other. That way also because many times people feel, the grandparents feel guilty, right? If they are unable to help, and when they are when their children are expecting that, and if they are not in a capable, physically capable position, say for example, they are not physically capable, they are having some sort of health issues or body pains or general old age problems. And like I said earlier, the younger generation cannot understand until they are at that age. They think, oh, she's complaining for everything or whatever. They don't understand how that health problems can be once you reach a certain age. So they keep expecting something from you, and this person might feel guilty to tell always that I cannot do. So she forces herself, right? She or he, they force themselves into doing that. So then what I'm saying is, how is it fair? So they should be able to, without hesitation, without feeling guilty, they should be able to explain their situation in a loving way, so that even the children are able to understand and respect that. And that is good for the children only, because their children are watching all this. So tomorrow they will also be in the same position. So I think it is important for them to understand it. It is our responsibility also to make them understand.
Yes.
We should not be afraid to explain the situation to the kids if they are unable to understand it by themselves, because they are, after all, our children. And since they are not at that point, they will not be able to understand, obviously. So it won't hurt to explain sometimes if that other person is unable to understand. It's not only in parent-child relationship, even as neighbors, even as friends, even as family, many things will be there where our intention may not be understood by the other person. So it is important, like apatra danam, right?
Yeah.
Last time we were discussing this. So yes, that also, many times relatives have an expectation from you. But is their need really a need? Sometimes they want something just for, because everybody is using, they also want to have, but they don't have the money. So they want to borrow it. So how are we going to explain that? That is a very sensitive issue. If you say you are not in a position to afford it, so you don't buy it, they will be offended. They will think only because you have some extra money, you are giving me all this lecture. But then if we give, it will become apatra danam. And we don't want to give for that reason. Because I don't want to do apatra danam, I don't want to give. It is not a necessity for them, it is only a luxury. So it will become an apatra danam. So how to handle that situation without hurting the other person? Such things we will come across many times. Not only with relatives, even these days, even workers are also wanting such very expensive items. So they see it in your house, they want it. So they want to borrow from you only again to buy that. So how are we going to explain that to them? So many such things will be there, which we have to slowly, try and explain it to them. Again, every situation is different, depends on the person, and how we explain it. But all these, we have to find a way to explain it to the other person. Sooner or later, at least they will understand. Even if they don't understand it completely, at least they will understand why they cannot ask everybody like that. And at least, that apatra danam will not be there. So that also we have to clearly explain. Sooner or later, they'll understand. Even if they have their desire, that desire will not go, but at least they will find a way to satisfy their desire in a right way. Like they have to earn for it. They simply cannot expect from people. They have to learn to earn for it. That kind of explanation, if we give, again, it will be easy for them. Okay, let me work a little bit more hard and then get it. Because many times they don't understand it. We have to educate them. Only then they will be definitely they will be able to understand if we explain. But that takes a lot of time. We cannot do that with a person whom we just meet. If that person is we are associated with that person over a period of time, then we'll be able to make that kind of make them understand. So it will be possible with family and friends, and with people who work for us. If it is a long term relationship, if they work for us for several years, then again we'll be able to explain it to them. But we have to try, is what I'm saying. We have to definitely try. We cannot simply ignore, because that also is told in some shlokas, like people who understand the Paramatma Tattva Jnanam, it is their responsibility to explain it to others whenever the other person is ready for it. So we cannot simply think that it is none of my business, let them do however they want. We cannot do that also. It is again our responsibility to make them understand at the level wherever they are. So we don't have to preach the whole Bhagavad Gita. To that point, how it applies to them in that situation, only that much we have to tell. So if they are asking for something, like how we tell a kid, okay, he's asking for some chocolate right before dinner. Do we give thinking that he won't understand anyways the consequences of eating a chocolate? He won't understand. So let me simply give. Do we do that? No, we try to explain it how much ever he understands. We try to tell that much. Similarly, but we are not going to explain the full functioning of the body, right? About eating chocolate and what happens, all that we don't. With whatever little effort he can understand, that much we'll explain, and we'll try to tell him that he can eat later or whatever. Similarly, even with people who are not at a point where they can understand things, it is our responsibility to tell them how much ever they can understand. That is also told in our shlokas in some of the previous adhyayas. Like people follow the santaha. So they follow people who are more knowledgeable. So people who are more knowledgeable, it is their responsibility to tell. So that is what I'm saying. Even with this grandparent and grandchildren relation also, if something is beyond our beyond our capacity, it is our responsibility to let them know. That also I have seen. So they force themselves to do something and then they fall sick or they are unable to handle something, and then they keep thinking, Array, I did this to them, that is why I became like this. So what is the point at the end, right? So instead of that, because yatha shakti, that also is told, you need not do beyond your capacity. That was never asked by the Paramatma in anything that you do. Yatha shakti only. As much as capacity you have, that much only. Nothing less, nothing more. So if it is beyond our capacity, that also we have to tell. We need not push ourselves to the only because we are afraid what the other person might think. But we have to find a nice way, a truthful way, a loving way to tell that. That is the only thing. Otherwise, it is not going to benefit anybody anyways.
Yes.
So, anyways.
Very nice explanation. Thank you, ma'am.
I try to think all this in my mind. So I don't know, like, because I keep thinking back and forth many times, is this
Yes,
the right thing? Is that
helps
the
to
right thing?
register in our mind.
And then I take these shlokas as an example. So this is what is being told in the shloka. So this is, and sometimes it takes a while for us to digest what is being told and put it into practice, right? Because originally we are not we are not trained for it. So when the first time we hear, we feel we have to go through that phase. Like even I went through that phase where I think that especially with this sapatra dana, people keep asking you, and you know that that is not the right way to spend the money. Even for them also, that is not going to benefit, because it is not whatever they are asking for is not going to benefit them in any way. It is only going to waste their time or spoil their health. So how to make them explain? So then somehow or the other I try to put it in a way that they can actually understand. Most of the times they understand. Sometimes some people might take it that just because we are in a position to give, we are telling all that. But I really don't worry about that as much. Why? Because there is truth in what we are saying. We are not telling them only to escape giving them something. So but when they finally understand that point, then they try to understand. But whether they overcome that desire or not is again a totally different thing. But at least they will try to earn what they want in a more rightful way. After you work for it, whether you want to use the fruit of your labor for your simple desire or for something productive is up to you only. There we don't have any responsibility there. But it is very important these days, because many times there are many organizations that claim to be they are in need, right?
Yes.
And then they are giving in to such small desires. But then again, sometimes you feel, see, they are also humans, they also have desires. So why should it always be only the basic necessities? Even they need to have fun. So is it okay for them to have fun when somebody else is not even having the basic necessities? So many such things, that conflicting thoughts keep coming, right? So there is
Yes.
this orphanage where people have enough food, but they don't have maybe something fancy like a TV or a computer or something. So when you are asked to donate for such things, so then you think there are other places where people don't even have anything to eat. So who should we give, right?
Yeah.
Whether to those people who don't even have anything to eat, or these people who have something to eat but they are still deprived of their children, for example, and they want to have fun on Holi. So they want some money to spend on the
Curious
games.
item. Yes.
So then, such things we always debate. Of course, if it is a small amount, we don't have to think so much, but sometimes it adds up. So what are we encouraging again? So are we teaching them to waste money in this way, or should we teach them to use it more productively? Now they all like sweets. Instead of, and within the sweets, I always tell, rather than this, why don't you make this sweet which is more healthy for them? But then the kids may not like that. They like the sweet which is not very healthy. So then what to do? So many things will be there. So such conflicting ideas I always keep having. But then at the end of the day, you should also feel good about what you do. So if you feel that whether they value it or not, if it is going to be good for them, then we should do that only. So that is another thing. Like this, so many things will be there. And luckily, I've found a few of you who keep listening to all my thoughts.
Yes.
So you have that
nice explanation.
Talking.
Because we can register all those things in mind through examples only. Yeah. Otherwise, the shlokas we may feel it difficult to understand. But,
exactly. So
some if you give some examples, then we can easily connect with that.
So the same question we had from one Samskritha Bharathi person, like about the exams for Geetha Pravesha. So they were saying the discussion is about how to conduct these classes, whether to conduct about just the Samskritam part of it or the philosophical thought of it. You know what we are doing right now. So there, some people are saying, as far as Samskritha Bharathi is considered, if we keep the philosophical discussions also, it will take more time. So we cannot meet the deadline of the dates, of the exam dates. So how to go about it? So what is your opinion? I don't know how many of you are, I know Surya Bhagini has given her last exam, and Alivelu Bhagini, you also gave, kada?
Bhagini.
Which one? Fourth book, fourth book you have given?
I have completed fourth book.
Fifth book, they haven't yet started conducting the exam. Regarding that,
no, it's over, ma'am. In Bangalore,
in Bangalore
center,
it is over. Whereas here in Telangana and Andhra, it is not over. And one of the reason is not enough volunteers are there to conduct the exam. And another thing is, even if we conduct, like some proposal is to conduct it in, because only 4 adhyayas are there in the fourth book, and the remaining 14 adhyayas are there in this book. So if we conduct all of the fifth book in one exam, how is it even possible, right?
Yes, yes.
There are 14 adhyayas. So where will the student study in 6 months? In 6 months, if you conduct 14 adhyayas, how is it possible for anybody to understand? They will only mug up a few things and attend the exam, and that is not what the purpose should be.
That's why they took 2 years to complete the whole
so that the same thing
and then conducted exam here.
The same thing we were proposing here also, but they were thinking about the practicality and this and that. Anyways, so I feel that after coming to this point, discussing the philosophical aspect of the shloka is also important, because
very
at
important,
the end of the day, we want, at least whoever wants to apply it in their lives only will continue this far.
Yes.
Even when we started with Geetha Pravesha, Geetha Sopanam and Geetha Pravesha also, the fourth book also, we had almost like 50 or 60 members in the group. But slowly, most of them are exam oriented. So the minute they have written the exam, they would not attend the classes anymore. But again, so it depends on what the purpose is also. And some people get busy with other classes. They enroll in other classes. So some of them actually listen to the recordings, which is still good, because the timings don't match. They attend other classes. So many things are there, but I don't know if I'm boring you with all these discussions.
No way. It is very interesting. My opinion is that
yes, and
through examples,
many of you offer your Yeah, you offer your opinions also on the discussion. So that is good. That is good. Some clarity should be there after we come this far.
Only through examples we can register the main point. What
exactly.
is
Exactly. That is true.
Thank you so much for that.
Okay, Bhagini. So next shloka, Alivelu Bhagini.
आं भगिनि अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः अहम् अस्मत् शब्दस्य प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं सर्वस्य सर्व सर्वनाम शब्दं षष्ठी एकवचनं प्रभवः प्रभवः प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचनं भवति षष्ठी प्रभवः मत्तः मत्तः मत्स्य शब्दस्य प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचनं सर्वं सर्वनाम शब्द द्वितीया एकवचनं प्रवर्तते प्र उपसर्ग वृत्तातु आत्मनेपदी लट्लकारं प्रथम पुरुष एकवचनं इति अव्ययं मत्वा मत् मन् धातु त्वान्तं भजन्ते भज धातु प्रथमा पुरुष बहुवचनं लट्लकारं माम् अहं शब्दस्य द्वितीया एकवचनं बुधाः बुधा प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचनं पुंलिङ्गं भावसमन्विताः प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचनं पुंलिङ्गं
So mattaha, what did you say for mattaha? What did you say?
mattaha प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचनं मत् शब्दस्य
अव्ययम्
अस्मत् शब्दस्य tasil pratyayam. So avyayam we can take.
అవ్యయమా అదే నాకు డౌట్ వచ్చింది మతహ దగ్గరే డౌట్ వచ్చింది ప్రథమా బహువచనం అనుకున్నాను ఓకే పదార్థః అహం పరబ్రహ్మ సర్వస్య సకలస్య ప్రభవః ఉత్పత్తి స్థానం మత్తః పరబ్రహ్మణః ఏవ సర్వం జగత్ ప్రవర్తతే సంభవతి ఇతి ఏవం మత్వా విజ్ఞాయ బుధాః పండితాః భావసమన్వితాః ప్రీతిసహితాః మాం భజంతే మా సేవంతే अन्वयः अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा बुधाः भावसमन्विताः मां भजन्ते तात्पर्यम् अहं परब्रह्म सकलस्य मूलकारणं मत्तः परब्रह्मणः एव निखिलं जगत् सम्भवति इति मत्वा भावसहिताः पण्डिताः माम् उपासते माध्वमतं भगवान् सर्वस्य उत्पत्तिकारणम् जगदिदं तेनैव प्रवर्तते तदेवं भक्तिभावेन युक्ताः भक्ताः परमात्मानं सेवन्ते व्याकरणं भावेन समन्विताः भावसमन्विताः तृतीया तत्पुरुषः धन्यवाद भगिनी
So क्रियापदं
प्रवर्तते भजन्ते
So प्रवर्तते कः प्रवर्तते
प्रभवः
और किं प्रवर्तते
सर्वं प्रवर्तते
सर्वं प्रवर्तते कस्मात् प्रवर्तते सर्वं
कस्मात् सर्वस्य प्रभवः
मत्तः फ्रॉम मी सर्वं मत्तः प्रवर्तते एवरीथिंग कम्स फ्रॉम मी इति मत्वा this is what thinking like this बुधाः मां भजन्ते कीदृशाः बुधाः
भावसमन्विताः बुधाः
so that is what the buddhaah think they understand that everything is coming from me thinking like this they worship me buddhaah iti matva mam bhajante okay thinking like this they worship me so here again what is the shloka saying while we are worshipping Paramatma we have to understand that everything comes from him or everything is in him okay pravartate sambhavati pravartate is sambhavati so everything happens from or because of Paramatma that also should be there thinking that because of me this is happening because of something else it is happening no then there is no purpose in your worship that also we studied in a few shlokas behind right So he who does not look at me in everything, and he who worships other deities as a separate entity, so that that kind of worship will become avidhi purvakam. Okay, there is no sanctity in that worship anymore. The minute you think it is different from Paramatma, then there is no sanctity in it. So everything, everything that is there, sarvam, mattaha pravartate. Everything is because of me only, coming from me only. In understanding that, buddhaha, who will be able to understand that buddhaha means those who have the Paramatma Tattva Jnanam. Such people, understanding this, they worship me. Now, people who do not understand this, they also will be worshipping, but they are not buddhaha. Buddhaha here implies those who have Paramatma Tattva Jnana. Okay? Okay. Anantaram Toshali Bhagini.
आं भगिनि मच्चित्ता मद्गत्प्राणा बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च मच्चित्ताः मद्गत्प्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्त च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च मच्चित्ताः मम चित्तः मत्प्राणाः मद्गत्प्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तः च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च मत् अस्मत् शब्दस्य पंचमी एकवचन.
One second. So Matchittaha is a samasa padam. So you don't have to tell the mat as a separate word. Matchittaha. Pumlinga prathama vibhakti bahuvachanam. It is a samasa word. Okay. So we don't split the samasa word.
Madgat pranaha
Same. It is also a samasa word. It is prathama purusha bahuvachanam.
Okay. बोधयन्तः बुध धातु परस्मैपदी प्रथमा बहुवचन परस्परम परस्परम
you can take it as avyayam here. Kathayantah.
कथ धातु प्रथमा बहुवचन च अव्यय माम द्वितीय एकवचन नित्यम अव्यय तुष्यन्ति
माम नित्यम तुष्यन्ति. It is not avyayam actually. Nityam is either napumsaka or pumlinga padam. You can take. Here we have to take it as napumsaka. You can take it as napumsaka or pumlingam actually. But in dvitiya vibhakti you have to take. Why? Because it is a kriya visheshana. It is not avyayam.
तुष्यन्ति तुष धातु प्रथमा बहुवचन च अव्यय रमन्ति रम धातु प्रथमा बहुवचन च अव्यय.
So one, the kathayantaha and bodhayantaha are both shatrantas. Okay. Pumlinga bahuvachanam only, prathama bahuvachanam only, but we have to recognize them as shatranta.
Shatranta. पदार्थः मच्चित्ताः मन्मानसाः मद्गत्प्राणाः मद्गतेन्द्रियाः परस्परम् अन्योन्यं मां बोधयन्तः माम् अवगमयन्तः कथयन्तः च कीर्तयन्तः च नित्यं सदा तुष्यन्ति च सन्तोषं प्राप्नुवन्ति च रमन्ति च मय्येव विरहन्ति च. अन्वयः बुधाः भावसमन्विताः मच्चित्ताः मद्गतप्राणाः परस्परं मां बोधयन्तः कथयन्तः च नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च। तात्पर्यम् येषां चित्तं मयि संलग्नं भवति, येषाम् इन्द्रियाणि मयि सन्ति, तादृशाः बुधाः भावसमन्विताः अन्योन्यं मां बोधयन्तः कीर्तयन्तः च सदा सन्तोषं प्राप्नुवन्ति, मय्येव च विहरन्ति। व्याकरणं मयि चित्तं येषां ते मच्चित्ताः बहुव्रीहिः, मां गताः मद्गताः द्वितीया तत्पुरुषः, मद्गताः प्राणां येषां ते मद्गतप्राणाः बहुव्रीहिः।
One second. Okay, so kriyapadam kim matra?
क्रियापदं बोधयन्तः कथयन्तः तुष्यन्ति रमन्ति।
So the main kriyapadams are tushyanti and ramanti. Kathayantaha and bodhayantaha are vartamana samana kalam because they are shatranta. Okay, shatrantas should not be considered as main kriyapadam.
Okay.
One, the tha pratyayam can be taken as main kriyapadam, but not shatrantas. Shatrantas usually will become vartamana samana kala if they are in prathama vibhakti, and in all other vibhaktis they usually become visheshanas.
Okay.
Okay, so here tushyanti. Ke tushyanti? मच्चित्ताः मद्गतप्राणाः मच्चित्ताः तुष्यन्ति रमन्ति च. So both these kriyapadani will apply, both kriyapadanis will apply to the karta. So here we have let us look at the tatparyam. Tatparyam says yesham chittam mayi samlagnam bhavati, yesham indriyani mayi santi, तादृशाः बुधाः भावसमन्विताः अन्योन्यं मां बोधयन्तः कीर्तयन्तः च सदा सन्तोषं प्राप्नुवन्ति मय्येव च विहरन्ति. Okay, so येषां चित्तं मयि संलग्नं भवति. So मच्चित्ताः, their chittam is constantly in me only, immersed in my thoughts only. Madgata pranaha, here madgata pranaha, pranaha we have to take it as indriyani. So their indriyani are also totally immersed in me only. Means what are the indriyani? The indriyas also you are focusing only on, not only the manas. Your vak is always talking about Paramatma. Your listening constantly to Paramatma Tattva Jnanam. Your vision is always towards Paramatma, means you are seeing Paramatma in everything. Like this, all your indriyas are also indulged in Paramatma only. Those are Matgata Pranaha and Matchittaha. Both of them, Bodhayantaha Kathayantaha, while they are explaining and while they are understanding. Okay, Nityam Ramanti. Mam Kathayantaha means telling about me, and Bodhayantaha. Bodhayantaha is understanding. Understanding about Paramatma Tattva Jnanam and then telling the same. Kathayantaha. Kathayantaha, again they are explaining the same. Okay, and while doing this, what are they? Nityam Ramanti Tushyanti. Because of this, they are constantly happy and enjoying. Ramanti. Ramanti, how can you say? Ramanti is also like enjoying, but in a little different sense. How to differentiate between Tushyanti and Ramanti? So tushyanti is basically happy, being happy. Whereas ramanti is you are experiencing that. You are experiencing a particular feeling where you are in a different state of enjoyment. Okay, that is ramanti. That is how we can take it as ramanti. Now, santosham is only feeling happy. You hear a news, you feel happy. Whereas ramanti, you listen to music and then you go into a state of mind. It is not just happiness. It is a state of mind where you are enjoying that pleasantness, that sound or pleasantness or whatever it is, the bhavam. So that is ramanti. Okay. So there is a slight difference between the two words. So matchittaha matgata pranaha, people who are indulged in me, who involve their indriyas also in me. So they keep talking about me and telling about me and understanding me, and constantly they are happy because of that. And ramanti cha.
Inner happiness, ramanti. The tushyanti means celebration.
Yes. Tushyanti is just happiness.
Yes.
And whereas ramanti is that inner state of mind.
Yes.
That you experience in a pleasant way.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the shloka here. So here two kriya padani are there to the same kartrupadam. So that while we are expressing it like in a karaka form, we have to be aware of that. So these are not, because two kriya padams are there, we need not split it into two different sentences. Both the kartas apply to both the kriya padani.
Yes.
Okay. And nityam, always be aware that kriya visheshanas, for kriya visheshanas, either the word should be an avyayam, or if it has the vibhaktis and the shabda rupam, we have to take it in dvitiya vibhakti or tritiya vibhakti. But here nityam, it is not in tritiya vibhakti, so we have to take it as dvitiya vibhakti. And when will a word like nityam be in dvitiya vibhakti? If it is in either pumlinga or napumsakalinga, only then that form will be like that. So if that shabda is there in both pumlinga and napumsaka, you can take either one of them. But even if you take napumsaka, you have to mark it as dvitiya vibhakti only. Though napumsaka prathama vibhakti is also nityam, you have to make sure you mark it as dvitiya vibhakti only. Why? Because it is a kriya visheshana, and a kriya visheshana can be only in dvitiya vibhakti or tritiya vibhakti or an avyayam. That you have to keep in mind. Okay. So these are all like grammatical things. And shatranta always will be, if it is in prathama vibhakti, 99.9% of the times it is used as vartamana samana kala. If it is in other vibhaktis, it will normally become a visheshana. If it is in dvitiya vibhakti, it will become a visheshana to a karma padam. If it is a tritiya vibhakti, it will become a visheshana to kartrupadam in karmani prayoga or a karanakarakam, like that. Depending on the vibhakti, the role of that will change. But it will be a visheshana. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Dhanyavadaha Bhagini. So Anantaram Punaha Surya Bhagini. Chadavanti.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपायान्ति ते तेषां तत्शब्दं सप्तमी विभक्ति षष्ठी विभक्ति बहुवचनं सततयुक्तानां ఇది కూడా सततयुक्तानां षष्ठी
सततयुक्तानां समासपदम्
षष्ठी बहुवचनं भजतां द्वितीया विभक्ति ద్వితీయ విభక్తి
షష్ఠి బహువచనం ఇది కూడా.
షష్ఠి బహువచనం. ప్రీతిపూర్వకం
ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం
కూడా ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. దదామి లట్లకారం ఉత్తమ పురుష ఏకవచనం. బుద్ధి యోగం ఇది కూడా ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. ద్వితీయ విభక్తి. తం తత్శబ్ద ద్వితీయ విభక్తి. ఏన శబ్ద తృతీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. మాం ఉపయాంతి ఇది కూడా లట్లకారం బహువచనం ప్రథమ పురుష. మాం ఉపయాంతి మమ ఉపయాంతి.
మాం అది సర్వనామ శబ్ద అస్మద్ శబ్దస్య ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం. ఉపయాంతి ఉపసర్గ యా ధాతు లట్లకార ప్రథమ పురుష బహువచనం.
ते तत्शब्द बहुवचनं प्रथमा विभक्ति. पदार्थः सततयुक्तानां निश्चययुक्तानां प्रीतिपूर्वकं स्नेहपूर्वकं भजतां सेवमानानां तेषां बुधानां बुद्धियोगं मद्विषयकं योगं ददामि प्रयच्छामि येन योगेन ते बुधाः माम् उपयान्ति मां प्राप्नुवन्ति. अन्वयः सततयुक्तानां प्रीतिपूर्वकं भजतां तेषां तं बुद्धियोगं ददामि येन ते माम् उपयान्ति. तात्पर्यं निश्चययुक्तानां स्नेहपूर्वकं सेवमानानां तेषां बुधानां तं मद्विषयकं योगं प्रयच्छामि येन योगेन ते बुधाः मां प्राप्नुवन्ति. माध्वमतं सततं भजतः भक्तानां भगवान् अपरोक्षज्ञानरूपेण मोक्षसाधनेन अनुगृह्णाति. तेन ते मोक्षम् उपयान्ति. रामानुजीमतं बुद्धियोगः विपाकदशापन्नं ज्ञानं व्याकरणं सत्तं युक्ताः सततयुक्ताः तेषां सूक्ष्ममासः. प्रीतिः पूर्वा यथा भवति तथेति प्रीतिपूर्वकं. क्रियाविशेषणं बहुव्रीहिः. ఇందులో దదామి ఉపయాంతి క్రియాపదం.
సో ఉపయాంతి కే ఉపయాంతి
సతతయుక్తానాం ఉపయాంతి.
సతతయుక్తానాం అనేది షష్ఠి విభక్తిలో ఉంది. సో హియర్ ఉపయాంతి కే ఉపయాంతి కర్తృపదం కిం అత్ర ते उपयांति. ओके ते काम और कम उपयांति माम उपयांति. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ వాట్ ఈస్ ద తాత్పర్యం హియర్? పురుష శ్రేష్ఠ భూతే భూతోత్పాదక భూత ప్రభో నో సారీ ఐ యామ్ రీడింగ్ ద రాంగ్ వన్. సతతయుక్తానాం ప్రీతిపూర్వకం భజతాం తేషాం తం బుద్ధియోగం దదామి येन ते मां उपयांति. Here upayanti, ke upayanti, te upayanti. They will worship me or obtain me. Who will obtain me? They will obtain me. So upayanti, obtain. Who will obtain? Ke upayanti, te upayanti. What will they obtain? Mam upayanti. So te kartrupadam, mam karmapadam. What is yena? Karanam. Yena mam upayanti. Ante by what? By what will they obtain me? Yogena. So what is that yena? Yena is connecting to tam in the previous sentence. Tam buddhi yogam. Okay. So dadami. Kaha dadami or who will give? Aham dadami. Aham kasya dadami or kesham dadami tesham dadami. Tesham kam dadami buddhi yogam dadami. Tesham buddhi yogam dadami. Aham tesham buddhi yogam dadami. Nenu vallaki buddhi yoganni istanu. Kidrisham buddhi yogam.
ప్రీతిపూర్వకం.
Kidrisham tesham actually. Kidrisham tesham ante vallaki buddhi yogam. I will give buddhi yogam to them. What kind of to whom will I give? To what kind of people will I give buddhi yogam? Preeti purvakam bhajatam tesham. To those who will worship me with love. Satata yuktanam preeti purvakam bhajatam tesham. So who will worship me with preeti and constant, satata yuktanam, always connected to me. So those who are always worshipping me with preeti, to them I will give buddhi yogam. To them I will give tam buddhi yogam dadami. Tam buddhi yogam dadami yena. So whichever buddhi yogam I am giving, with that yena te mam upayanti. They will obtain me. Okay. So first what is happening? There are people who are worshipping me with preeti and satata yuktam. Means constantly attached to me, constantly in my thinking, constantly immersed in my thoughts, and with so much of love, they are worshipping me. To such kind of people, I am giving them buddhi yogam. Buddhi yogam I am giving. With which, so what are they going to use this buddhi yogam for? With which they are going to obtain me. And they will obtain moksha with that. Okay, so first what is needed? Satata yukta preeti purvakam bhajatam. So they have to worship me with so much of love and with complete faith. To them I will give bhakti yogam, buddhi yogam, and with which they can reach me. Okay, buddhi yogam means that paramatma tattva jnanam. That kind of buddhi and that kind of attachment I will give. And they constantly they will have that paramatma tattva jnanam. No, it will not come once in a while and go. Constantly you will have that paramatma tattva jnanam. Only when you are in constant touch with that paramatma tattva jnanam, you will be able to obtain him. Ade kada jnana margamu. Adanmata. So in the previous shloka also, similar thing is explained, right? So people who are constantly thinking about me and immersed in my thoughts, they will always be happy and they will ramanti, te ramanti. So to such kind of people who are completely absorbed in me, I will give them buddhi yogam with which they can obtain me. So here the yena will be connected to the tam. So that is how these two sentences can be connected. Okay, that kind of connection also we should be able to see, because many times in any kavya that connections will be done by the kavi. So we should be able to make such connections. So the tam buddhi yogam dadami yena, with which. So here yena means what is it representing? That buddhi yogam, with which these people will obtain me. Okay. Okay. So we'll stop here. So Bhagini, Alivelu Bhagini.
Bhagini. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavad Bhagini. Namaskaraha. Sarvebhyah Dhanyavadah. Namaskaraha.
Dhanyavadah Bhagini. Sarvebhyah Shubharatri.
Thank you so much.
Dhanyavad.